What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely week. And with that being said, let's get into the weekly report. All right, so on this weekly report, we are going to be discussing the weekly charts, the daily charts, the 4-hour and the 1-hour charts, and then we are going to be looking at what has happened in the past and what is going on right now, and why things are probably going to be repeating what has happened in the past, right? History doesn't have to repeat itself, but it does rhyme the vast majority of the time, and I think that is exactly what we got a case of here. All right, so we're going to start off with, I'm going to start off with the weekly charts, because once we go over the weekly charts, everything will make a lot more sense. And no matter what you see on any other time frames, you can be like, okay, well, anything besides, like, being bearish on this makes absolutely no sense once you see the weekly charts. All right, so let's look at this. All right, so you have the bottom marker. So I have coined this as the bottom marker. I don't know when I made it that, or like gave it that name. I think it was over here. But I just want to show you guys what is going on with the bottom marker. Okay, so we're going to point out right there. You had one right there. You had one right there. That is when the bear market started, was over here. Okay, let me just, please work. There you go. All right, so now we are going to quickly come over here. All right, come over here. And we are going to have VIX up right there. We're going to have SPX up over here. All right. So as you see, we do have that, and that. All right, now let's look. Where were these? All right, and let's zoom in a little like that. Go like that. All right, so where was this first one? This first one came the week of the top. All right, and I understand the trend line wasn't there until these two touch points, but technically we're right here at the trend line. All right, so we're there. We're at the start of it. That marked a move from 17 all the way up. So it was over 100% move within 4 weeks there on Mr. VIX. All right, you had the second bottom marker right here. Where was this? Where did this one form? Formed the second week of this top right here. All right, so it was not the week of the top, but it was the week after. All right, let's look at the third one down here. Where was that? It was the week of the top. All right, it was literally right up here before you had weeks of selling, weeks of red. All right, it's more specifically, it looks like 8 weeks of red. All right, now you're up here. We didn't have a bottom marker on the VIX. If you look, we did not have one. We did have one right here. You know where this one came in? This one came in right when we were at the bottom over here. So, again, like, hey, all right, it did pop up. It didn't end up working out, but it wasn't the same as what we had going on the other times. All right, so maybe it is for the best that it didn't end up playing out. All right, but now what happens, guys? What happens now? We now have a bottom marker in with your CCI hinging off of oversold territory, with stochastic crossing up from oversold territory, and your RSI is in the same exact spot that you had this big bounce over here, and you also had this little bounce right here. All right, that didn't get much steam, but it still got a little bit. Now, I don't think it is going to be a little bounce like that. I think we're going to have an almost a 100% run, if not over that. All right, I don't know what's going to happen. I know eventually we are going to have that fear event here where VIX comes over 40. I don't know when it's going to be, but this could be it. I'm not sure. It could be it, but again, I mean, I'm not been roasted in the past for calling crashes, and I have been burnt. So there's no point in even attempting to play one. A good trader will just kind of be in the position while a crash is taking place, because, hey, you will have other signs telling you to get in. All right, and that is the purpose of the charts. All right, so now that we have covered VIX on the weekly time frame, let's just look at Mr. SPX. So last week report, I told you guys that I was expecting a bearish engulfing candlestick, an indecision candlestick. Or let me restart that. I was expecting a bearish engulfing candlestick, a topping tail, or a indecision candlestick, a doji candlestick in the form of a bearish harami. All right, those are all the ones that have marked our tops. All right, we do today, or not today, but this week, this Friday, we did have it closed with not a doji candlestick, not any. I don't think you could really call this a topping tail. But I would call this a pretty solid indecision candlestick, and we did form the bearish Rami candlestick that was at that top right there. I guess it was actually just that top right there. All right. So yeah, it was right there, and that was followed by a very large amount of red. All right, you went from 430 all the way down 350 on SPY there. That is a pretty big wave of selling there. All right, I'm not saying something like that's going to happen again. All right, but we have such a setup for downside. All right, and that is the important thing of this video. All right, no matter what you see on the daily time frame, the 4 hour and the 1 hour, just know we are right at the top, and you now have VIX marking the bottom. All right, we didn't last time we were at the top up here. All right, yes, we still got that sell off from that trend line. We did not have VIX marking a bottom. All right, we did not have that happening. This time we do. We have the 2 in alignment. We have the bearish candlestick formation that we have that we were looking for. All right, not exactly what we were looking for, but it still did form the bearish Rami candlestick. And in my opinion, this still is that indecision candlestick. All right, people do think the hangman candlestick is a bearish reversal candlestick. Well, if you go on the patternsight.com, we're not going to look right now, but if you do want to go look at the hangman candlestick, the test of performance, I think, is like 57% bullish continuation. All right, which is pretty close to that 50 mark, which to me means it's pretty spot on as an indecision candlestick. So that is what we got right around the trend line. We did have a bearish engulfing candlestick up until Friday came along. And that wiped that out. But I mean, in the end, we have a setup for downside. All right, so it is still the same. All right. But I just want to do the same thing I've done in the last few weekly reports, which is look at where DIA is. All right, guys, DIA is still up here. Okay. And now you do have SPX also matching where DIA's stochastic is. DIA's CCI is. All right. It is now near, well, the CCI isn't up there. But your stochastic is on overbought territory crossing down, just like we had DIA's over here. All right. I'm not saying this leads to immediate downside, but the selling has commenced, and we're going to review something later that is going to show like when I am going to be looking for a decent sized counter trend move. All right. I don't think this was it. I think this is showing us something. All right. But like we're also going to be going over that. And by that showing us something, I mean Friday's action showed us something. All right. But yeah. All right. So carrying on, let's look at DXY on the weekly time frame. All right. I've been calling this out for quite some time now. All right. I don't know when I started, but either way, I actually do think we were in a falling wedge at some point, and I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, that is such a sloppy drawing, but it was probably right there. Coming over the weekly time frame though, look at that. You have your bullish divergence going on your CCI right there. All right. So you're going like that. Or you're going like that. All right, so that is a thing to be said. All right, that is a thing to be noted. You have the same thing going on in your stochastic going from right here all the way down there. In your RSI, so this is the most important factor here. Your RSI is almost in oversold territory. You're at 35 on the RSI. You got down here into the lowest you fell was 32 on the RSI, 32.25, and then you had over here, you felt the 30, all right? So we could still have one more week of downside here before it does start ripping, all right? I don't think, I mean, I'm not going to be watching DXY specifically. I just know, like, hey, if DXY is going up, equities are going to be coming down. If VIX just marked another bottom and VIX starts moving up, we're going to need to see some confirmation next week. We need a higher close than what we got going on here to confirm that candlestick formation. But as I have mentioned in the past, I don't use these candlestick formations on the weekly and monthly charts the same as I do on the daily time frame. On smaller time frames, you need that confirmation. Okay, my experience, if you look for confirmation on the monthly time frames, well, you're just going to be missing. All right, you are literally just going to continuously be missing. And might I remind you guys, you did have this bullish Rami candlestick formation on the monthly chart. So it does indicate that VIX is going to be moving up this month higher than it did over there. All right. So higher than $26. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. All right. We do need some, like before we get a big move to the upside, we need some downside, guys. You guys see what has recently happened with Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin. And by the way, guys, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. I guess I shouldn't be talking about it right now, mixing it in with the analysis. But either way, Bitcoin is showing us some things. So that is something we will be talking about later in the video as well. Let's put you down there. All right. But yeah, now for the daily time frame. So we went over the weekly time frame. Everything's good. So I'm just saying, nothing looks good. Nothing looks good. You are at your trend line on SPX. You have your stochastic crossing down, and your CCI is over here, almost in the overbought territory. It's the highest level since we had over here. Which let me just percent wise, let me look at this. All right, 20% sell off, guys. I am not saying we have a 20% sell off, but that would bring us very low, and we do have our zone right here. Is this 20% down? Just about. All right, just about. No, I don't think. Well, I'm not going to say I don't think. All right, I don't know. I don't know because again, no crystal ball. I never know. All right, but I do have the charts. All right, to follow along with as we go. All right, and that is the point. All right, we're never going to know something exactly how it's going to go down, but as long as we monitor the charts as something is going down, then we will have a good shot of where that next move is, all right, and how things are progressing. All right, so not saying we do end up getting all the way down here, but you have a solid shot at retesting these lows, all right, and that is something that I firmly believe, all right. This whole bull case here, I really do believe this thing does not exist, all right. The whole bull case, the only bull case that I see on the interwebs is, oh, inflation is going down, the Fed is going to be less hawkish. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? We literally have Fed speakers coming out saying that they are going to be more hawkish. We had Jerome Powell saying that we are going to have rates over 5%. All right, over 5%, and they're not coming down for all of 2023. And then you had Bullard over here come out saying, oh, he sees rates now at 5.25% to 5.5% by the end of 2023. How does it make sense? How does any fundamental bull case make sense? It doesn't. All right. You have the Fed, like you are bullish on something that the Fed is saying, hey, we're not doing that at all. So don't be bullish. All right. Like people are fighting the Fed, and I don't know how. I really don't know how I'm seeing so many comments, just bullish comments. I have no idea. Because again, if you really understand how things are, it makes no sense. It literally makes absolutely no sense. So there's no reason to be bullish. But yeah, all in all, guys, you are fighting the Fed. So just realize if you are going along with that bull case, you are fighting the Fed 100%. The whole bull case is going against exactly what the Fed is saying, that they're not going to be dovish. They're going to be more hawkish. So again, doesn't make sense to me. So I'm not going to buy into it. It doesn't have merit. All right. But again, I don't have a crystal ball, so like just know that a narrative switch is, I mean, I think it's here. All right. I don't think it's right around the corner. I told you guys over here, if you guys see some bearish catalyst, if you guys see a narrative switch come within the next 2 to 3 trading sessions, it was on this day or if it was on this day, but I said the next 2 to 3 trading sessions, then again, you have proof that the charts predict the news, because I had no idea what a catalyst would come. I didn't know what would tank the market, but I knew something was right around the corner. There's that, guys. It was right around the corner. And again, guys, the narrative, it's not going anywhere. It's not about to switch to the upside again. You had an upside narrative here. You're not about to have like one day of red and then flip back up and everyone's all perma bullish again. No, that's not how things are going to happen. But I will say you do have a rally taking place here off of inclining volume. So that is something to know. All right. The thing I mentioned in the written update is that on this day we had declining volume. So you fell off of declining volume, which is showing the sellers weren't supporting that move. All right. That is showing that like, hey, all right, even if we move down the next day, we would need to see that volume come in, or it was going to look something similar to what we had here on QQ, where you are declining while moving up, and then boom, you finally have that rug pull day. All right, that's all declining volume is showing you. It's showing that like, hey, buyers or sellers aren't supporting the move. It's fake price action. All right, well, guess what, guys? We had fake price action take place. Now on Friday, we did have that increase in volume. Now, I will say ever so slight increase in volume. And excuse me, let's just excuse me again. Holy crap. It was a weird one. You had volume right here, 2.5 billion right here. You had 2.58. So you actually did have increasing volume here, greater than this day of selling. So are buyers more in control here? I'm going to be honest. I think this whole week was fake. All right. I think this was literally just, I still think that move down is coming. All right. But I think they're just trying to fatigue the crap out of both sides, right? Dealers are winning, guys. Dealers are winning heavily. That's something I called out in my I called it out in the written update, but I also called it out in the video update. Guys, you had up until the 395 strike, puts were winning. All right, but there were more puts. There was much more puts on in open interest than the call side of things. And then once you got to 396 strike, that's when things flipped. All right, so max pain would be 395 to 396. They would need close you in between those two. Guess what, guys? That's exactly what they did. Against all odds, they somehow brought you back up to close under 396, right under 396, but above 395. And I'm sure as hell, like, there were very few people thinking this was on the table, right? Even myself, all right? Now, I did call it out. I'm not going to say, like, I called that out as the probable scenario there, right? No, I did not. I said it was more likely that we end up continuing the sell-off, right? Because, and again, we're going to be going over that actually in a few minutes here. Of why I thought that would be the case, all right, and why I still think it is going to be the case, all right. But yeah, guys, all in all, you had this massive day of green here, but at the end of the day, you come over here to the weekly time frame, and it shows that this whole week was Fugazi. All right, look at that declining volume down here. All right, well, big fat wick right there, big fat indecision candle right there. All right. You come over here to SPX, same exact thing. Come over here to QQ, same thing. Do we have the same situation on DIA? No. But guess what? All right. Oh, yes, we do. We still have declining volume, but you had more volume than before. Now, this is something that I was saying before, right? DIA led the charge, all right, is about to lead the sell-off, all right? You did not recover nearly as much here on DIA as you did on the other indices, and look at where your oscillators are. You have your daily oscillators still over in extremes to the downside, all right? So, I don't know if DIA is going to be leading the charge to the downside, but it did obviously lead to the upside. It was the only one to break that trend line, the only one to literally come back and flip that trend line. If you come over the weekly chart, you clearly see that happening. I don't think it's going to hold, though. I think we are going to get sucked back into this bear market channel, whatever you really want to call this thing. Bear market channel, broadening wedge. Yeah, look at this thing. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I do think we get back into this this price action here, though. I don't know if you break that low there, but then again, I don't really care because we won't be. I mean, I'm not going to be trading DIA. I've tried that before, and the liquidity on the option chain is just not there. And with SPY, you can buy things that don't have a lot of volume, and then as they come into the money, they'll get volume. Well, DIA just never got that volume from the one time I have experienced trading it. So, yeah, I just will never trade DIA. Maybe IWM, but it's the same sitch, all right? SPY and QQ are going to be where the volume is. Now, especially SPX and NDX. But I will be trading SPY and QQ because, you know, I don't want to pay 100 times whatever an option is to play the big boy, the SPX. So, no reason to. But yeah, all right. So, going over to the daily time frame, all right, let's just look at that, all right, and we're going to look at Mr. VIX, all right. That I think is probably the most important. I really don't care about what we're seeing here. I understand you have this stochastic crossing up, you have your CCI hinged up, but again, you're in the overbought territory. There's no long setup here, all right, and there hasn't been a long setup since you were in consolidation. Look, you clear as day had a long setup, all right. You ain't got that now. I can guarantee you just don't have that. But nevertheless, you did, again, same as SPY, you rose off of inclining volume. You got your stochastic crossing up, CCI is hinged up, RSI is hinged up. All right. But other than that, I mean, there's not much to say here. It's not, again, it's not like you have that long setup. It is still, the short setup is the only opportunity here. If you're not, you're completely gambling. Completely. If you're going long in this thing right now, it is, you are, dude, what are you doing? All right, you're risking like up and for this. All right, you are risking $5 for coming all the way back down here. All right, what if you just get left behind and then you're like, crap, I didn't exit my calls and I'm missing out on the downside. Like that's just it's just what's going through my head. I wouldn't be clearly I wouldn't be going long here. But yeah, going down to the 4-hour time frame. So this is what I want to discuss, all right, here on SPX. And we will just in detail look at this. And I'm going to reference this sell-off, this sell-off, and this. All right. But either way, the thing we have in common here is these are the downtrends. Okay. These are when you are finally having that sell-off. All right. So I'm not even talking about when you are moving up. All right. These, I don't care. Okay. That is what we just saw. That was this. All right. We are not having this brief little pullback to then go on our merry way and have another one of these. It's just not going to be the case. I've showed you guys what I showed you guys in the weekly charts. It makes absolutely no sense to do that. Unless, again, you're going into QE Unlimited time. I don't know if that's going to turn on, but I don't think it would turn on from where you are. When you turn that on the first time, just look at where you are. All right, you come down here. Look, what the hell is this? You guys think somehow this is going to happen again? That's going to bring this explosion of buying pressure, right? Well, guess what, guys? We are not in oversold territory. We're in overbought territory. All right, so it's not good. Okay, that's not good. But yeah, getting back into what we were just talking about, I didn't think that we were going to have this massive run. Okay, but again, I will point out any counter trend that has came off of a bullish divergence on the CCI, the 4-hour CCI and SPX in these downtrends has ended out, I believe, is at 2.5%. All right, so that is also something to note. Now, I do think this was a big one. But you have them like this, all right? And this is what I'm saying. We can, I think we're probably having a fake out move like that before they send you down, all right? It could be something like this before you send it down, all right? So let's just look back. So that was a 2% move to the upside. We're going to be referencing this. We're going to be looking at this and then also this, all right? And we have literally one thing, okay, guys? And these are patterns, all right? These are literally just, they can mean nothing or they can do what I think they do, and they mean something, okay? Like straight up, all right? Call it silly all you want, all right? But me doing this is it has been exactly where I have gotten to where I am right now. And I'm not going to say that's a great spot, all right? But I'm going to say right now, nope, I don't care, okay? I still have a money printer for the rest of my life, all right? And that money printer is only getting sharper, all right? And there is that. All right, so what do you have common, guys? You like literally didn't have any upside until you started marking these bullish divergences. All right, then you had a bigger one go on here. You had a bigger upside, okay? But again, you did not, I repeat, you did not have any upside until you started forming the bullish divergences. You come down here. You had this little bad boy right there that went right there. Oh, you got a little pop right there. All right. That is a decent sized pop. And at a SPY, that would be like a $15 move right there. All right. Decent ass pop. But then you have this big one that formed right here. And it produced an even larger pop. All right. Just look at that. That's a 6% move to the upside. All right. Now you come down. You're coming down again. You start the next wave of selling down here. Oh, what do we have? Another bullish divergence that marks again another, I want to say this is probably 2 to 3%. Nope, this is 6%. That was one of the big ones. All right. And then boom. All right. You had this final one down here that ended up marking this. And this was like $20 worth of upside. All right. So like, there you go. All right. And that was more than 20%, $20. That was like $30 of upside on SPY. All right. So now again, you're coming over here. And this is where you ended your sell-off, all right? But either way, guess what was present? You had the bullish divergence, all right? So that whole way down, you did not have a decent rally until you formed a bullish divergence, whether that was small or whether that was large, okay? You just didn't have them until you formed these bullish divergences, okay? Let's look at what you got right here, all right? You got a very small one right here. Again, I don't really care about this. I don't think this is comparable to what we got going on right now. I think it's more comparable. This is what we got going on right now, all right? You already had your first wave of selling here. I think you're about to have your second. And I think it's about to be violent. I think we're about to come down here. We're about to break these. And again, no crystal ball. I don't know where we're actually going to end up stalling out here. But the fact that your consolidation was down here, I think you at least come down here and break this. All right, because I don't think this is the end of anything. I don't think this is the end of the bear market, like a lot of people are saying. Oh, right here at the trend line. No, guys, the trend line, first of all, the trend line really doesn't mean anything. Okay, you could break the trend line and just have a false breakout and come back in. There you go. More bulls are trapped. All right, so like look at it from the dealer's perspective. That is exactly what they're thinking. All right here, you had bulls piling on. Right here, you probably had bulls piling. Right here, you probably had a lot of bulls piling on. And then boom, they did that. Okay, why would it change? It's probably not. All right, so you come down here. Oh, what do we have here? We have this bullish diverge right there. That gave you a little pop right here. All right, then you have this bigger one right here, and that gave you a massive pop. All right, now we're going to move down. All right, we're going to actually come over there. All right, and now we're going to, so now you started your selling again. All right, and follow this up here. All right, you started your selling again. Oh, look at that. Made a lower low there. Made a higher high here. All right. And this is, guys, this is why I'm watching for these 4-hour bullish divergences on SPX. Because, again, this whole bear market, besides up here, right? Up here did not follow this pattern. I'm going to say it right now. All right. But for the past 2 legs down in the market, you've had this exact same pattern come along. And look at that. You have a big bullish divergence going on right here. That then gave you, and this is what I think was $20 of upside. Yeah. So you have that. And then, boom. You come down, and now you have this bad boy right here. And that is also marking bottom. And boom, you had your next wave of buying. All right, well, guess what, guys? So that was 2 legs down in the market. The 2 last legs down in the market followed this exact same pattern. All right, and again, these patterns are silly, okay? I completely agree, all right? They're silly, they're stupid, all right? Clown on me all you want for them, all right? But at the end of the day, they're here on the chart for a reason, which means they have been respected the whole time. For whatever reason, they keep popping up. It's there. It's a reason. And I don't know that reason. All right. I have no idea. But they're there. They're here on the chart. And guess what? Where do we have this other leg of selling? All right. We have that. But where does it stall out? Where does it stall out? It stalls out when you find your first bullish divergence, that little one that formed right there. All right. Then you have this bigger one that ended up forming because then you went down there. And there you go. And now you're off to the races. And now you had this counter trend move. All right. So all in all, the only thing I did all that for, I just want to make it very clear to everyone on why, like, over the following weeks, this is exactly what I will be reviewing in each and every video. All right. I will guarantee we will be focusing on the SPX 4-hour chart. All right. It's not there. Okay. Like, it's not there on the moves that don't, like, they don't produce these big counter trend moves. All right. So we looked at that. All right. Now, I know we already looked at this, but let's just remind yourself. All right. So you got like 2.3 to the upside here. All right. Guess what? We didn't have any bullish divergence form. All right. So that's the only reason, like, hey, guys, like, if I'm not watching something, or if the thing I'm watching doesn't pop up, like, hey, there you go. There is the reason. All right. Now, I did say we did have that declining volume there on Thursday, even though we had the decline. And then we also did have the hourly bullish divergence. I believe we did. Let's just check it out. Yeah, you did have the hourly bullish divergence. So this is something I shouted out. But again, the only reason I am like, guys, I didn't think this was going to, I didn't think that was coming out of it, because look what has happened at the past 2 downtrends. All right, the past 2 leg downs, you didn't get any meaningful bounce without getting that SPX 4-hour bullish divergence. All right. So, I mean, I still do think it's going to be very similar this time around. I do think that was the last hurrah there. That was like, hey, all right, we got to suck a lot of people in. We got to make the Bears feel uncertain one more time before we go. And we got to get the Bulls very freaking disappointed that they didn't take the buying opportunity down here. All right. Because then they're going to start foaming up here, and then boom, they pull the rug out. All right. I'm just saying, guys. All right. You had the put to call ratio spiking twice, the historical levels up here or down here, and then that followed. All right. So you had the crowd, very clearly the crowd was bearish down there, and then this followed. Well, guys, guess what? It's beyond clear right now that the crowd is bullish. All right. So, and again, the Fed needs the market to go down. They have even said so. They need the market to go down. They cannot have it going up. All right. On top of that, the Fed also gave us a fundamental reason to not be bullish on the market. All right. And again, on top of that, you have the mother of all short setups here on the weekly time frame. All right. Nothing looks good. Like, this thing does not look good. It's not primed for any sort of upside. If you do have any sort of upside, if you were to do it from where you are right now, It's going to be a fake out move, and it is going to come down. All right. I will fully acknowledge right now, yeah, I have done a terrible job at timing this thing. All right. But at the same time, all right, the TA guys, the TA has not failed anyone, and anybody who wants to say that, just take me out of the equation and then look at the TA, and now like have an objective standpoint there. But straight up, guys, I have emotions. I'm not the most experienced with this. All right, so if you see me making a mistake, all right, and then you make the same mistake, it's your mistake. It's not like, yeah, it was my mistake and I made it, but if you made it for your own account, there you go. That's your mistake. And you blaming me for that, you blaming anyone else but yourself for that, just makes you, I don't want to say it because, hey, guys, if you've been doing this, like, just realize you can snap out of it right now, but 100% you're a coward. All right. You're not taking responsibility for your pain, which means, like, hey, you know, like, now you have not, like, the next time this pain comes along, you had no way of fixing it for yourself. You had literally no way, and that's all that leaves you. Okay, so like if you're following someone and you have pain based off of, oh, I blindly followed someone, there you go. Okay, like, how are you going to avoid this pain next time? Don't blindly follow someone. That's that. Okay, because if you do blindly follow someone again and lose again, now you're really stuck scratching your head. You're like, crap, I actually learned nothing this whole entire time. There's nothing I can do now. I have to restart the whole process over. I have to go find someone else to go copy. And do you really want to do that? No. All right. You want to learn how to fish for yourself. All right. Now, at the end of the day, I will prevail. All right. I am extremely confident in that. People can hate all they want. Just realize, right, if I do see if I see someone being a complete dickhead, all right, if I see you being a hater, if I see any comments that, like, there's no upside to this comment at all, all right, but the only reason someone says is because either they're in pain or like they're trying to hate on someone, all right, I'm blocking you immediately, guaranteed. Okay, I will take the comments, all right, the critiques that like actually have something actionable. Okay, but at the end of the day, if you are sitting there like some idiot, okay, and I know you're watching this video because I blocked you on Weeble and you told me you've been watching the TA. So yeah, some idiot came on Weeble on my post yesterday and said, this guy hasn't had a good call in like a few weeks or something, whatever. I don't remember exactly what you said, but like, are you kidding me? Are you stupid or are you stupid? All right. Again, like, take me out of the equation here and just look at the freaking TA. If you want to tell me the TA has not been like almost spot on like from here to here, and I mean, honestly, also up here. All right. And also definitely up here. Do not forget the, you know, that I gave everybody a short entry right here and a short entry right here. Does anybody not remember that? No? All right. So, again, take your emotions out the equation, take me out of the equation, and have an objective standpoint here. All right. Because in reality, anybody who is saying that the TA has not been nailing it just hasn't been following the TA. They've been following along with me. All right. Like, I don't know what else you want me to tell you. All right. Like, the TA has not nailed it. All right. The TA has been so freaking spot on for quite some time now that it's mind blowing. I literally get frustrated all the time at myself because I don't listen to what I say in the updates. And then I don't listen to the probable scenarios. And then somehow the probable scenario happens. All right. Speaking of probable scenarios, all right. The ideal scenario yesterday was for the dealers to bring you up, close above 395, under 396. I will 100% be paying attention to open interest from now on SPY. All right. From what I saw yesterday, against all odds, and I'm literally telling my friend, I'm like, oh, I'm so mad. It was like probably like 3 o'clock, and I was like, I'm gonna be so freaking mad if they bring you right up to where I said, like, that is where the dealers pay out the least amount of people, because it shows us that yes, it was a Fugazi market. It like literally that is, oh, they're winning. The dealers are winning, and like, guys, we can't be betting against the dealers. Next time I see something like this, I will take the appropriate not saying the appropriate position, but I will set myself up in the appropriate manner to where I'm playing with the dealers instead of against them. All right, because yesterday was it was very obvious after the fact. All right, and it was like, I'm gonna say 50-50 before the fact. All right, but because the dealers were benefiting like that, I should have weighed that. Excuse me. Excuse-moi. I haven't eaten. I barely drank anything this morning. Definitely didn't eat anything yet. I got hiccups. Don't know how that's even happening. But yeah, guys. Next time I see the dealers gaining like that, all right. If I just like and then I see some things, anything on the chart to match it up. Like we had a bullish divergence on SPX, like it called out on the hourly time frame, and that was literally right down here. But then I also did say like hook and go because you came under here and then you went like that, right? Hook and go question mark. I don't know. All right. But next time I do see the dealers having that position, all right, which is where, okay, like that's a crazy squeeze that would take place if the dealers are to have the ideal scenario and you have any technical factors supporting that. I'm going to appropriately position myself to play with the dealers instead of playing against the dealers. All right. And in this case, it would have just been to, hey, exit 2/3 of your puts and just literally re-add them. My friend got to take advantage of this. That is also what was very frustrating. I literally got out somewhere down here with my friend. And then I re-added contracts. I think I already told you guys about it. I re-added the freaking contracts for like literally $1 less. I sold for like 324. I think I bought them all back for 323. And then the contracts got to be right under 370. And I was like literally sitting there just like, do I sell? Do I sell? Do I sell? And I don't remember what I was seeing on the chart. I think it was this impulsive thing that I was seeing on the 3-minute chart. I called it out the other day in my video. I think it might have been somewhere over here. But it was right around the bottom. And I started seeing like, holy crap, that thing looks impulsive. That does not look like you are, like that is impulsive. All right. I think it was actually right around over here. And then you ended up doing that. Either way, when you're seeing things like that, like, hey, I'm, gotta adjust. I did not adjust. I definitely did not. All right. That is just it's a part of being a trader. All right. You got the technician skill set and you got the trader skill set. I got a ways to go on both of them, but I will say right now, guaranteed, the trader basket, yeah, it's got to be filled up quite a bit more. So that is something. All right. So now let's look at the channel darlings. All right. Let's look at the channel darlings now that we have covered everything. We now know where everything is going. All right. There is Bitcoin, but just realize, guys, if the market falls, Bitcoin is going to be falling. All right. Bitcoin is a risk on asset. All right. If the market goes risk off, there you go. Guess what? Bitcoin's rallying right now, risk on. Well, guess what? You have the crowd thinking everything is bullish right now. So they're going risk on. They're about to get wiped. All right. I'm pretty sure this thing is about to come right back down to where it ascended from. And then it's probably going to come into the zone. Again, no crystal ball. Don't know where it's going to go. It's simple support and resistance. Well, it's support and support. But yeah, all in all, guys, I do think this thing ends up coming back down. But either way, I will be watching Mara for my entry because Bitcoin kind of just started ascending out of nowhere. Then Mara gave us the entry on it before Bitcoin could give any signals to go to the upside. And I wasn't watching Bitcoin, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we kind of do watch Bitcoin here, but at the end of the day, no, Bitcoin is pretty freaking crazy. Okay. As you see, it just has these crazy spikes out of nowhere. And there are things that show you things can happen on the chart. Like right here. All right. You had this, triple bullish divergence going on here as you fell there. And you got that crazy, sick, nasty spike there. But again, it was out of nowhere. All right. You could have seen the first one and then it could have just kept falling. Like, it's pretty crazy, all right? But I do know for a fact it does trade with the market. So if we are pretty spot on with the markets, we should be pretty spot on with the coin. All right, so I am very excited to play Mara. When it is time to play the corn again. So that will be fun. But yeah, let's go over our channel darlings, all right? So we are now going to, and this is the first in detail approach, or view, I guess we could say, of the channel darlings. We got Netflix, we got Apple, we have Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Mara, Enphase, and Nvidia. Enphase is on there because I'm going to be watching Enphase for a long, all right, because I do think this is probably going to outperform everything else when we do end up bottoming, all right? But again, I'm not looking at longing anything until the overall market is bottoming, and that is going to be obviously there's going to be the signs that we cover here in these videos, right? We will have warning signs suggesting that, hey, you have a case for, looking for a bottom here, just like we're looking for a top here. But at the end of the day, Enphase is going to be falling, all right? It's going to be falling with SPY, and SPY has, like I said, it's simple support. It's support and resistance. We got this support down here. We got this support here. We got this support here. All right. I have a box just connected the two because this is the zone I think we fall into. But all in all, guys, all right, we're going to come down and we're going to hit one of these branches here and we're going to be bouncing. All right. When everything is looking good. All right. And we see the other tickers that we're watching. If they also start looking good, there we go. We could start looking for that bottom. But all in all, we have the warning signs, but then you have the simple branches that you're going to bounce on regardless. All right, so that's what I'm going to be watching. And one of these branches, all right, it is likely going to be a solid opportunity to be entering end phase. All right, but I do want to point out end phase has rallied a lot more than everybody else as well. Throughout the bear market, you just kind of kept going up. All right, so it could provide a long opportunity that does better than most of the other stocks. But at the end of the day, you rallied here in the bear market, whereas you fell on everything else. And now you're starting to fall. So we're going to see how hard this thing sells off. But either way, it is something I am looking at. All right. Because I don't think it is going anywhere. And yeah, you do see how oversold that weekly is compared to just other things. Okay. But then again, I mean, Tesla has just stayed down here. I mean, either way, guys, there's going to be a lot of longs. Now that I think about it, there's going to be an extreme amount of sexy longs when the time does come. I will obviously say right now, our darling Mara is going to be the sexiest, but we will have a lot to look at. Now, let's start off with let's stop talking about longs and let's just start analyzing these charts. Okay, so we're going to start off with the weekly time frame on all of these. All right, just to point out something simple that's going on here. You got a quadruple bearish divergence going on your weekly CCI. Same exact thing actually that you got going on your stochastic. And your RSI is almost in that overbought territory here on the weekly time frame. All right, last time you were up there, oh, you had one hell of a sell-off from all-time highs all the way down there. I want to say you lost like 70%, maybe it was 60, 76%. All right, that's pretty crazy, All right, you come over to the daily chart. All right, as you see, I did already put these two trend lines up here, which obviously that's where I'm going to be watching. But something I want to point out here that is actually something I will be doing at the beginning of the week. And we can actually look at, you have Webull up here, just so we can look at Netflix options. All right, because I do think that is going to be a very sexy short. It's going to probably pay more than any shorts would on the overall market. And I do think we could do it in a safe manner. All right, but either way, just buying those 325s, I think those 325s are going for, I want to say around $800. If you were buying Feb 17s, you come over here, $300. Yeah, so they're going for right around $800. All right, you end up getting into the money, and yeah, you're looking like $1,300 to $1,400. So that is your 70 to 80% gain right off the bat, just even with Netflix coming back down to fill that gap. Now, I don't think it's just going to stop there. If you do, whenever this thing does stall out, it's probably going to be when the overall market is stalling out. Maybe you have one more up day and you come up and hit the top of the trend line there. But then I do think very quickly, I think you end up coming down and taking that low right there, right about at 315. All right, and if you come over to 315, guys, so this is where it starts getting pretty juicy. Okay, now you're $10 in the money. All right, or no, yeah, now you're $10 in the money. So now it would be like us buying these. Now you're looking at like $2,200 to $2,300. All right, and that is sexy. Okay, and there you go. There's your 3x gain. All right, and I don't know how quick that happens, but I do think it's going to be quicker gains than what comes in the market. All right, so there is that. All right, but if you really want to be safe, which is probably what I am going to be doing, just because you know what, I can easily just like safely grow my money without, you know, taking risky bets here. So what I'll probably be doing is these March 17s, and I will probably be buying the either the 315 or just the 325 because that is the gap fill. But yeah, now you come $10 into the money here and you're buying. So you would be buying these right now. These would be $1,300. All right, you come $10 into the money, so it would be like 355 Netflix here. And look at that, $2,800. So instead of the 3x gain, you're now getting a 2x gain. So, but you're gonna have time to ride this thing out, and I do think this thing is probably going to be taking a cliff dive. I think you're probably at least at least going to come back and touch this trend line. Now, I do also think you are going to be breaking this trend line. I think you're probably going to end up coming down and doing something like that. All right. So if you do want to have time on your contracts and not just taking profit right here, then do what I'm doing with the March 17s. Okay. You can get those Feb 17s. Maybe I'll actually get like a few Feb 17s and then only a few March 17s. I'm not going to be buying a lot of them. But I will definitely be getting a few. All right. I don't have the most amount of money to be working with right now. But either way, all right, that is something I am going to be doing. I know friend Ryan, he's already gotten that. So congrats to him if you do end up cliff diving on Monday. Good luck. All right. But with how the indices actually shaped up, I do think we're probably going to at least push up a little higher. I don't think it's just going to be a straight just gap down on Monday, which actually wouldn't show a gap on the daily chart because you would have to gap all the way down under here for that to take place. That would be a sick, nasty gap. That would be like a 2% gap down. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But because we had this volume supporting this today, I do think we are at least going to push up a little higher. Maybe we come back up to this trend line, then we reject there. Not sure. Either way, guys, fake move. Yeah, it's literally just being done to pull people back in. But if that is the case, Netflix probably comes up here to this trend line, and then we do end up, and that is a decent ass move. That's like a $10 move to the upside. And then we would get an even better entry on those 325. So that would be pretty sexy. All right, pretty sexy. Moving on to Apple. All right, Apple. Someone said, can we cover Apple in detail? Of course we cover Apple in detail. Apple was literally the canary in the coal mine down here that gave us gave us the knowledge that we are going to be having a most likely a rather large counter trend move. And this is what I'm saying. The people are saying that I haven't had a good call in weeks. I want you to just go screw yourself. All right. I literally called the crap out of that counter trend move when nobody was bullish. All right. And then I started getting bearish when everyone was bullish. All right. Because, yeah, I mean, this move is not going. You see this. This move ain't going to sustain itself. All right. It's not going to be something sick, nasty like this. This is when we were having literally an uptrend in the market. If you come over to SPY, that was after we did that and we grinded up the whole time. Well, guess what? This is coming after this. All right. So there's no way we're going to be moving up from here. All right. Well, not that there's no way. All right. Obviously, there's always a way. But I think I've given a pretty clear idea of where we are moving from here throughout this video. But yeah, guys, as far as Apple goes, all right, we already did see that play out. We have a lot of freaking room to run, or not run on Apple, to fall on Apple. Now that you have seen, and yeah, I mean, this bullish divergence really did lead to an absolute massive countertrend. This is what I was suggesting, and this is why I say, like, guys, charts aren't going to, someone also commented on that. Charts aren't going to repeat themselves, but they will. History won't repeat itself, but it will rhyme. All right, every time you've seen a bullish divergence pop up on Apple, all right, you've had a decent run. But I also want to point out, every single time you have came down here into where you are right here on Apple, you get a significant bounce. Okay, you get a significant bounce. This is where the bounces take place. You don't stay down here on Apple. This is Wall Street's sweetheart. This is just like these are our channel darlings. This is Wall Street's darling. Okay, every single time you come down here, you get a very decent reaction. All right, especially, might I add, the ones that form these bullish divergences. All right, you had that right. I wish you would freaking do that right there. Right there, you had a sick, nasty counter trend move. All right, or not counter trend, but just a sick, nasty move. Over here was your counter trend move. All right, this is the same thing we had over here. Okay, and then you come over here, it's the same thing you had over here, and this is what I was saying. Hey, all right, every other time this has happened on Apple, you have had a very significant rip. Okay, like this doesn't need to lead to anything, but you had that rip, you had that rip, you had that rip, you had that rip. All right, do we have a little one that had formed over here? No, we did not. But either way, guys, that is what I was getting at. Guys, things that happen in the past, they don't have to repeat themselves, but they should rhyme. All right, that is just kind of how these patterns on the charts work. And that's what I was saying in the beginning of the video. Call me silly all you want, but guys, the whole sitting here finding patterns on the chart, it has been working. All right, it has been literally the only thing that I have found to work, which is referencing history. All right. So like, and obviously the charts go along with this. That's the only thing that really works. Knowing that the charts predict the news. And yes, guys, I can firmly say right now, yeah, the charts predict the news. But all in all, guys, I would be looking for downside. You can go a little higher. Maybe you form that bearish divergence going on there. And that signals your move down. But now, guys, you have this is exactly what I was saying. If we are going to have a significant move to the downside, that impulsive move to the downside, we're going to need the main components to not be in oversold territory. All right. And that's exactly what has happened now. Now you have that room to run to the downside. I think you're probably going to start. It's going to be the same exact thing as the indices here. Apple is literally the main component of QQ and SPY. So if Apple's doing something, they're going to do something. If they're doing something, you have added selling or buying pressure over here on Apple. So it's one big circle jerk, and they all control each other. But yeah, guys, all in all, it's the same exact thing. I would be looking for downside. Okay, you come over to the weekly time frame now. Something I want to point out, all right, is you were down here on your RSI. Okay, guys, every time you really get under, we'll say, what was the time you bounced over here? This was at 42 on your RSI. So we could actually just we're not going to put it on, but just know every time you get under 45 on Apple's weekly RSI, you typically end up getting into bounce territory, okay? And then when you pair that with what we saw over here, this is what I'll be, guys, I'll be looking for the exact same thing next time. And yes, guys, you guys don't have, I advise everyone, do try and learn for yourself, all right? Do these things for yourself, but I will be here 5 out of 7 days a week. Well, actually, here on YouTube, I'll be here 6 out of 7 days a week. On the written updates, I'll be here 5 out of 7 days a week, literally showing you guys as they come on, as things happen on the chart. I will be here showing you guys, all right? But the next time I'm looking for upside in Apple is going to be when the RSI comes back down into this oversold territory that it is bounced. And if we see the bullish divergence going on, that is how we will know we have one hell of a rally coming up. All right, you guys see this 124 all the way up here, guys. I would have been so much better off to just load the boat on calls for Feb 17 instead of looking for a put entry there. I would have just literally been like, this is exactly what I was saying was on the table. The explosive move here from Apple. I was saying that Apple and Tesla were suggesting this counter trend move was going to be rather explosive. It's going to be rather large. All right. Well, yeah, we got that. All right, we got that. But all in all, guys, yeah, I'm looking for downside. It's the same exact thing. All of these, I'm going to be looking for downside. All right. They do sometimes offer better setups than the overall indices, though. You got this uptrend that you were respecting here on Tesla. All right. I would be watching for the break under that. That is probably going to be where the impulsive selling comes from. I don't know when it's going to happen, but whenever you do have it, you're probably going to go something like that. And then it's going to be the same exact thing over here. All right. You're going to start your wave of selling. It's going to be impulsive. Probably not going to let up until we hit that next counter trend on the indices. All right. Microsoft, coming over here. We will get that out right there. You are in overbought territory here on your stochastic, even though you're crossing up. Same thing that I was saying on Netflix. You can have that last day of upside there. But all in all, guys, no, you're looking for downside in all of these. You really are. I wouldn't really say you don't really have any levels to be watching here. You already broke out from one uptrend, which is something that I will point out right here. That is actually something very neat that is taking place right now. I don't know if that thing is going to hold, but this is what I was saying. I would not be, I mean, again, if you're long, you're like completely gambling here. You're trying to scrape out an extra $5 on SPY versus like $20 to $25 downside. It just makes no sense. It does not. All right. But yeah, Microsoft is literally back testing the trend line that it broke it down from, while your 4-hour oscillators come right back into overbought territory. So that is something to take note. All right, going over to Mr. Goog. Okay, now Google is actually something that was exploding the other day. I have no idea why it was exploding, so I can't really give you guys a reason. I was just watching it. But yeah, it was definitely taking the indices for quite a ride. All right, QQ did end up going up like 2.8% or something crazy like that. With 2.74% is where it closed out at. That's insane. All right. And I can guarantee, yes, this price action right here had a lot to do with that. That's what I was saying. Like, these are the main components of the indices. You got Apple, you have Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla. Excuse me. Tesla was up there. Tesla, has kind of died. Kind of definitely died. All right. Coming down from $400 all the way down to there. That's like literally so much worse than what Netflix did. So, well, is it? Nah, it's about the same. It's about on the same scale as what Netflix did there. But either way, guys, Goog had that gap up. So the first thing that I am going to put on the chart is that right there. So we had the highest 94.40. So we're going to oh, look at that. All right, look at that. I went right to it. All right, so 94.40. That is the first. If anybody's taking a short on this thing, this is where I would specifically be looking to take profits at for at least a bounce. But considering that your RSI is all the way up here, I don't think that is going to be the thing. We're actually going to take that off just so we don't have the thing on. Look at where your CCI is, guys. This is literally insane. This is somewhere you don't come up to. Let's just go over there. All right, we're going to come point out over here. Go on your RSI there, and we're going to zoom out. All right, and you were at the highest point on your RSI since, oh, look at that, right before you started falling off a cliff. All right, now, I will say you did end up having that rally, but that was pre-bear market, all right? But just look at this. This is just, again, going to show you how indices are about to get rug pulled. All right. Like, that is exactly what is being shown here. All right. This is one of 4 main components on the indices. I guess you could throw Tesla in there and say 1 out of 5. Netflix used to be in there. It's no longer a FANG stock. But either way, guys, this makes up a lot of the indices and QQ and SPY. And yeah, guys, it is ripe for a rug. All right. This is not okay. This is not okay at all. Do you see what's going on here? Do you see what's going on here? The fact that the RSI is in the highest spot that it's been throughout the whole bear market is kind of very concerning. Are we about to see an even bigger wave of selling than what we saw in August? All right. Like, this is insane. We saw like $75 down. Did we see more over here? Did we see like 80? $100 down before any decent bounce. So we saw $80 down. That's crazy. I think, like, honestly, guys, there's a case to be made here. We're probably going to get something similar. Yeah, I still think you come down into the zone. I don't really care. Again, it's simple, just support. It's literally just support down here. If you break that, you don't have much under, which is why I have that as the bottom of the zone. I don't think you are going to break under there just because you have nothing down here. And the first spot that I would be looking for a bottom in is right here at the top of COVID. All right, this was literally right before you had your crash, your 35% crash. I think it was 35%, 32%. All right, it was right before you had that. We can actually just take that out right there. Oh, maybe it was 35%. 35%. There we go. That was not wrong, or my memory's not tricking me. All right. But yeah, guys, I mean, this is concerning. It really is concerning. All right. It really is. Now you come over here to the weekly chart and let's actually look how things are playing up. Please don't do this right now. There you go. All right. Look at how things are playing up. Now I will say this thing does look bullish, right? But then again, you've had quite a bit of fake outs that have came right after these bullish moves, or the bullish moves have acted as quite a bit of fake outs, which were followed by the real moves to fall. All right. I think that is going to be exactly what we got going on right here. That can also, like what we just looked at here on the daily time frame, guys, this is so far overbought. It's ridiculous. All right. If you think, listen, if you can use your eyes and just look at the last times that we've hit this trend line. All right. Well, guess what, guys? Goog is all the way, like, on its RSI, it's so overextended that it is higher than when it was right here, which then had a very quick $12 sell-off within like 3 to 4 weeks right there. I think that was 3 weeks. All I'm getting at, guys, is this thing is very ripe for a rug pull. This is not okay. All right, this is not okay. Now, I will say you did have the inclining volume, so maybe we do have that one more day, just like I was saying on Netflix and SPY. Maybe we have one more day where buyers do end up bringing you up. Maybe that is the day that we go up off declining volume. All right, maybe we end up on SPY. Maybe we end up green, whereas VIX is red, and that gives us our sell signal. That shows that big money is loading the boat on puts. All right, but then again, keep in mind, guys, we never got the We never got this bullish divergence to form. All right, it literally didn't, and it's been at 5 out of 6 VIX bottoms this whole time. All right, we've had it. All right, you come over here, you have the same thing over there. All right, we can keep going. It's over here as well. All right, you had that right there. You had it flat right there. There was only one time where VIX ran about 100% without marking that. That was right here. All right, and you never reached the over sold territory. Yeah. Oh, I failed to have that one in there as well, but you had it right there. Right, so you had 5 out of 6 bottoms this bear market form with that bullish divergence. So what are the odds that it's not going to form this time? It's pretty low. All right. What is 5 divided by 6 there? All right. Off the top of my head, I feel like that's 13%. I kind of just want to see though. Calculator. 5 divided by 6. Oh, 17%. So it was pretty wrong. So it'd be 6 divided by 5. Am I being so dumb right now? No, it's 5 divided by 6. That should give you. All right, I guess that doesn't give you it. It's 17%, guys. All right, there's a 17% chance that we don't end up seeing that, but again, that is low, and I think it's more likely that we do see it. But with what just got put in the weekly bottom marker on Mr. VIX, I don't think that I don't know. I don't think that we are not going to be topping this week. This is literally what marks the bottoms. All right. Again, like it's the same thing as that bullish divergence. This is what is at the bottoms on the VIX. Do we get both of them? Do we have SPY running up, SPX running up today or this week at the beginning of the week to a new high, which then pushes VIX to a new low, and then like there you go. I don't know, but I do want to point this out. All right. So if we were to see that trend come to fruition, which is the bullish divergence trend on the VIX, if we were going to see that, then it would not align with this. Let's just look at the weeks after VIX has formed this. All right, so the week after VIX formed that, you had an up day or an up week. All right, week after VIX formed that there, you had the up week. Week after VIX formed there, you had the up week. My point is you didn't come down and break that low. To break that low is what you would need to form that bullish divergence. All right, you come back over here. What do you have here? All right, VIX actually did come down to break that low. All right, but it wasn't the low from this. It was the low. Oh, no, you did end up coming down to break the low. So maybe, all right, so this is the first time right here. That was the last one, all right? So, I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I have no idea. All I could do is show you what I'm looking at. And this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm going to be watching, all right? But again, I mean, if we do end up going to do it, guys, the risk was there. The risk was literally there. We called this out on Wednesday or Thursday, like, hey, even though we're falling here, like, you know, I don't think it's probable now that you started that sell-off. I don't think it's probable that happens. But, again, the chance is there for you to end up running back up on SPY, all right? But, yeah, moving forward, let's go on Amazon. It's the pretty much all of these are going to look pretty much the exact same, right? But sometimes they will offer better setups. Like in my personal opinion, guys, Goog has a pretty sexy looking setup for a short. Like I would personally want to take this over QQ puts, right? You come over here on Goog, that gap fill was $94, right? You come over here, boom, bop, bing, come over to Goog. All right, let's just look at Feb 17 puts. All right, puts right there. These are going to be running in the money. You got 95. They're going for 237. All right. You could get the 90 puts, all right, and then by the time they get into the money, it's going to be, they're going to be up just about 100%. Or you could do what I would do, which is buy these 95 puts, all right, and then by the time they run into the money, you, again, are still up just about 100%. Gain is the same. Why take the extra risk? There you go, all right. But yeah, so another trade idea right there. Feb 17, 95 puts. All right. You can enter them. I would, to play it safe, I would be entering on Monday. All right. And then I would be leaving a little on the side for you then to have that, what we just spoke about. Hey, since the volume was supported by SPY, all right, we can end up seeing a little continuation to the upside, but I don't think it's going to be much continuation to the upside. But yeah, guys, Goog has a solid short entry, in my personal opinion, with what your oscillators are doing here. RSI reaching the, again, highest level since you reached all the way back down, back over here. You can end up pushing up a little higher, but you're probably not going to be doing so. All right. But yeah, that is pretty much it there. All right. You don't really have anything be watching here, any trend lines to be watching there. There's that, but by the time you do end up coming down to hit that, you're going to be hitting your profit target there anyway. All right. There's that. Moving on, we go over to Amazon. And again, guys, we're just going to be looking over the channel darlings. Obviously, if there's things going on throughout the week, we can look at those, like what Google's had happen here. But more specifically, we will just be looking at these throughout our, or not throughout, but at the end of our weekly reports, because they do take up a decent amount of time here. All right. And this video is already an hour and 4 minutes long. You have your CCI coming off. It's literally hinging up off of the sell line. All right, not a good sign. All right, if you go up, it's going to form a divergent high here. Again, it's going to be something that indicates, hey, better short entry here. All right, but it's the same thing as everything else, guys. Like Amazon. And by the way, guys, you did have this falling wedge here. I'm sorry I did not shout this out. Maybe I did way back when. But either way, guys, this is probably going to end up coming right back down. All right. If I had to really look at something, we come over to the hourly chart, and I'm sure there is a trend line that we really could be watching here. No, there actually isn't. You like broke it. All right. And that was that. There was that. But other than that, guys, yeah, there's really nothing to be watching here on Amazon. So, I mean, yeah. Again, I mean, I'll tell you guys when there's more upside on these channel darlings than the actual indices. But yeah, I mean, unless it's something that looks like do you see that thing? Do you see that thing? All right, you could play Apple if you'd like, but I mean, all in all, it's gonna move like the indices. But Netflix, more upside than the indices. Wait, to the downside, more downside than the indices. Goog, more downside than the indices. There you go. All right. So that is something that I would be paying attention to. Mara, that's we don't have to watch that. All right, that is something we'll be waiting for. As I said before, guys, I will be waiting, or not waiting. I'll be watching end phase towards the. I'm gonna keep this on here. I'm gonna be watching it when the market is bottoming. Obviously, like we'll be here, but like all in all, I'm probably gonna ignore it up until. I think the market is bottoming because I will be looking to go long on a bunch of things, guys, because that will be the play. We'll be going long on shares in quite a bit. Obviously, we have the Mara plan. All right, that is something I'm probably the most excited about to play crypto. All right, because you guys saw what happened the first time with Mara there from the 350 entry. You know, it went on to do crazy freaking things there. But yeah, that is something I'm going to be watching. Not now, but I will be watching it for a solid long entry when the time comes. All right, coming over to NVIDIA. Now, this is something I actually I pointed out briefly in the Friday video. You have a complex inverse head and shoulders pattern here, or a complex my apologies, complex head and shoulders bottom formation here. All right, so what I would be looking for is you're probably going to do that, and then you're probably going to end up breaking up. But keep in mind, if we get one hell of a sell-off here, I wouldn't be surprised to see that undercut, and you're probably going to end up coming down here. But this isn't something that I would be like, you got this pattern forming here, so it leads me to believe you're probably not going to come down and break these lows. All right, you've ran all this way here. The market is probably just in the process of setting up a bunch of these bullish formations. They're bullish patterns on a bunch of these things that support the indices. So then when the time comes, you know, you have a lot of, you know, buying pressure coming in and stepping into the indices to bring them up. All right. But all in all, that's it. All right. That is it. You're probably going to see the same amount of downside that you would be seeing. Like, I don't think it's going to be paying anything or paying anything extra just because of what I just mentioned. I don't think they're going to bring you down too much here on NVIDIA. I really don't. I think you're probably, like, on this next sell-off, you're probably going to come down probably around here. But the fact that that pattern is here leads me to believe, like, hey, guys, they're probably going to keep you somewhere here. All right, they're probably not bringing you down here to invalidate the pattern. But again, that is what I would be watching for. All right, and that is about it, guys. We can now look at the ticker request. All right, but all in all, guys, the channel darlings, we're not going to look at them a lot. It is literally just it's what I'm going to be watching on these weekly reports. We're just literally going to review them once a week on the weekly reports, see what has happened to them, and like also like when the time does come, they're going to be what I play. All right, because yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to play the big boys, all right? And I do think that time to be playing shares and calls will be coming up in the coming months. I don't know when, again, no crystal ball, but I will be watching, all right? And I will be updating you guys here. All right. But coming over to ticker requests, let's just quickly go through these. All right. Now looking at Alta, this is one that someone mentioned, and guys, this thing is I mean, I'm just saying I wouldn't be going short on things like this, and it's strictly because, dude, it's moving so much further than the market. All right, like straight up, this thing is like not so much further than the market, but it doesn't care what the market is like got going on. All right, like it doesn't look like it, at least. I mean, I understand you came down here and bottom in March 2020 with the market, but ever since then, even though you've had this going on the indices, well, since we hit the start of 2022. So let's say over here, 2022, all right? Instead of seeing this take place, you steadily saw it tick up, all right? So like if you're looking for a short on this, I'm going to be honest, I just wouldn't. All right, I wouldn't, but I will say you're probably going to see that pullback, all right? Something that we haven't seen this whole time was the fact that you have this weekly bearish divergence going on. You have the same thing on stochastic. All right, your RSI is approaching that overbought territory on the weekly chart, just like it was back here before you had this little guy. But again, this is what I'm getting at. All right, it could just be little pullbacks like that for you to then keep going on. All right, if something is strong in the bear market, all right, I would not be shorting that. So, just my opinion on there. But yeah, I mean the daily time frame shows the same thing. You have the just like you had that bullish divergence going or the bearish divergence going there on the weekly CCI. You got the same thing going on here. You have a triple on the daily time frame. But I do want to point this out where you just kept going, and this is what I'm saying. I would not be touching these things. All right. Like, yeah, you worked out there, but I personally would not be touching these things. You could easily have a little pullback and then continue just ripping faces higher. I just wouldn't touch it. All right. Apple, we already looked at Apple. But you know, it's the same thing. All right. Like if you want the short Apple instead of the indices, it's probably going to pay about the same. All right. But all in all, yeah, I'm not going to be looking to buy into any Apple until we end up coming back down here. All right, because that is likely where you are going to bounce again. All right, so that is what I will be watching. End phase, we already looked at that. But holy sweet baby Jesus, look at that bad boy. Look at that bad boy. What is that? Minus 10%. Crap, man, that's terrible. I wonder what happened there. I don't know what happened. I guess we can't look right now. But either way, I mean, you lost that uptrend. That is clear as day. That's the technical thing that happened here. You approach these two trends here. And yeah, obviously price chose what it was going to do and it broke down. All right. You were in the downtrend. There's a little uptrend in the bigger downtrend. There's that. But like I told you guys, I'm going to be watching end phase. I'm not doing anything for it right now. I don't think like if you are looking to short end phase along with the market, like, you know, the market's going down, let me short end phase. I'm going to tell you right now, you shouldn't be thinking like that. All right. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. None of it's financial advice. But like at the end of the day, all right, you want to be, at least in this. Yeah, that's true. Nobody is 100% right. The goal is being right more than wrong. I don't have a name, just a number. But for what it's worth, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, there have been so many comments that have just been like, in that update, I said like, hey, all right, if you guys do want to, if you want to be a hater, you're gonna get instant blocked, and then there you go, value is just gone, just erased, and then you got to feel all stupid because you have to go make a new Weeble account just to follow my analysis, and then. Yeah, I mean, that's very stupid, all right? I would feel stupid if I had to do that for someone. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm not really going to be arguing with any of the haters anymore. I will literally just be blocking you. I'm going to leave the comments up, all right? So, if it happens on YouTube, I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to block, all right? And then that person can't comment on the channel. That comment's going to stay there. But just know if you don't see me responding to the haters, that is why. I just blocked them, and they can't do it anymore. And there's that. Because at the end of the day, this is freaking valuable, guys. I fully acknowledge that. I don't get paid off of this, all right? There will be, in the near-term future, there will be a donation link in the description. I don't know when I'm going to add it. I'm kind of just lazy right now. I don't want to. I did take out from my Twitter bio the my trades are posted here for free until 1/1/24. No, guys. All right. No. And that is why this donation link came into play. All right. Well, it will be coming into play. I put an insane amount of time here. All right. I know for a fact I can charge people right now for whatever it may be, a Discord, trades. Someone said like, hey, yo, people would pay $50 to just sit there and ask you questions. Like I would do all these things, but again, I don't want to charge people money. I don't. I'm not going to be doing anything for like $5 a month or anything like that. I'm not going to put any more effort into something if it's going to be paying minuscule. It would be something like a $30 subscription. I don't know when it ever would come along. That's what I'm getting at. All right. If I am going to be sitting there putting a lot of my time into something, yeah, the subscription is going to be more like $100. All right. But since I don't know when that is going to come, all right, and since I just like I don't really want to have a plan of selling you guys anything, all right. Talking with someone the other day, and a donation link is what I'm going to be going with. So if you guys do find value out of this, and you guys do ever want to give your thanks, like, hey, throw $5 my way, throw $10. I'm sure there would be a decent amount of them to the point where, like, hey, this is solid. Okay, this is that. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to come out with I'm not gonna come out with a freaking Discord that everyone could join for $5 a month. Not a chance. That is a lot of effort. I'm already doing a lot over here. And again, $5 a month. No, I'm not gonna. If something's not gonna financially gain me, or if I'm not going to financially gain in a big way from it, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, all right, that will be there. I don't know when it will be there. It will just be there at some point in the near-term future. Over the next 2 weeks, I will put one together. And on those days, people, hey, if you made $10,000 and you know, like, hey, all right, I would not have made that if it weren't for Henry's TA or something like that. If I helped you along the way, hey, throw $10 my way, throw 20, whatever you want, okay? I will accept donations, all right? But I don't want to charge anybody anything. So that is my way of trying to get something out of this because, again, like, I mean, it is frustrating getting these hating comments. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, crap, man, I'm just trying to provide value for free. I know for a fact, like, a lot of people are using it. But then you got these dickheads that come along and they just make you not want to freaking put stuff out there. And then, like, at the end of the day, I end up blocking them anyway. So who cares? But, like, it's whatever, right? So that will be there. I don't know when it'll be there, but it will be there. NVIDIA, we already discussed NVIDIA, all right? ZOM. So ZOM is something that I would not be touching, all right? But, like, I mean, you're ripe for a dip, okay? But, like, as you see, the last time you dipped from here, it's not like there was this massive cycle down, okay? It's actually the same exact situation as what I was just saying over here with Ulta, all right? If something is not moving with the market, okay, I just wouldn't be trading it. There's no reason to. People say there's always a bull market somewhere, all right? That is this, all right? That is, I wouldn't be touching this. Things that do this, like literally just like this. You just stayed up here. You didn't have these massive cycles back and forth throughout 2022. You just stayed grinding up. This is something I wouldn't be touching, all right? But if you were going to touch it, I'm just letting you know, all right? Like, you can be grinding up here for a little while. You did end up breaking down from that trend line. And I do think, like, it's probable that you came back up and literally are testing the trend line, then you're going to be breaking back down. I have no idea, all right? And now actually looking at the 4-hour time frame, I don't know why I had that trend line there. Could have been somewhere like a little like that. Let's look at the hourly time frame. Oh, that is why I had it like that. Okay, that makes more sense. All right. But yeah, guys, like, that's just my personal opinion is I would not be touching gas stocks. Like, we can look at Oxy. Like, they just have not been moving to crude. Okay, they literally have not. Like, look at what crude has been doing. All right, so let's just actually come right there, come over there. All right, and we're gonna look at the weekly time frame. All right, and this is what I'm getting at. All right, so this thing is supposed to be trading off of this, right? Well, why the hell is that thing going straight up? Crude prices are going straight down. That makes no sense, all right? Yeah, I mean, that literally makes no sense. I just wouldn't be touching it. That's my personal opinion. Do what you want, but just realize, technically speaking, if the thing it's going off of is like, if it's not following the thing it's going off of, the fundamental for it, probably not going to follow technicals. All right. I don't think, you know, I really don't think this is a good bet. But like, again, you could be shorting gas. All right. It could end up coming back down. I have no idea. I don't care though. All right, guys. So I guess that is pretty much it. Let me know if you guys do have any other tickers you want me to discuss down there. All right. I know it's not like, I mean, it's not what we cover on the indices. When I'm looking at these other tickers, it's going to be very straight cut and to the point there. I definitely butched that saying right there. That was not at all what I was trying to say. But yeah, all right. Let me know if you guys do have any other ticker requests. Let me know if you do have any well, I mean, if you guys request a ticker and I deem that it should be in this channel, darlings, that's when like I'll add it. All right, these are the ones that I want to continuously watch because I do think they will be market movers / solid longs in the future. By that I mean Mara is going to be very solid long in the future. I'm very excited about that. All right, and yes, guys, Bitcoin is exploding. All right, but which, by the way, guys, Bitcoin. This is exactly what I am going to be looking for to mark a bottom, but this is not even close to the amount of volume that I was looking for. All right, I'm looking for some action like that to take place. We got a little volume popping up over here. Not even as much as the selling volume over here, though. So, but yeah, guys, this is a risk-on asset. It's actually the riskiest of risk-on assets. Like, I don't think anybody really can disagree with that one. Bitcoin is like, you know, you guys all saw what happened. The SPY didn't go down 70%, but guess what? Bitcoin did. Oh, closer to 80%. All right. SPY didn't go down 80%, but guess what? Bitcoin did. All right. So because it's a risk on asset, it's going to be falling when there are risk off periods. All right. And SPY is about to have a risk off period. All right. We can clearly see that on the weekly time frame. All right. But yeah, like in times like this is when Bitcoin's going to have those legs down. This is when it's going to consolidate / like slightly move up like it's happening right now. All right. But all in all, was pretty easy to see how Friday was going to play out. By 9:36, it was easy to tell we were going to run back up. Yeah, I was thinking the same in the back of my mind too. It was, meh. Yeah. They all say it's easy, but they don't pull the trigger. I don't know. Listen, yo, I don't know. I mean, it is pretty easy, like a lot of the time, to tell where you're going. It's just about having the balls to pull the trigger and not let your emotions influence you. And like, yeah, that's literally the only hard part. At the end of the day, charting is very easy. It is the emotions that, like, it's the trading aspect that you have to pair with charting that is going to get you anywhere. All right, guys. So with that being said, I think that is everything. I will catch you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I know it's an hour and 20 long, but that's the gift of these. Yes, gift of the of the weekly updates. Not a gift, but it's whatever. But yeah. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.